of cloud performance engineering in DevOps and SRE course, friends. So at the end of day one, friends, what we concluded that everybody should have the cloud account so that we can learn cloud. That's what we concluded. And I believe everybody who has joined today is there day two as well. Is there anybody who has joined for the first day here? Okay, I take the silence that we are everybody's for day two. Okay, friends, please confirm how many of you have the AWS account with you already? Use the, yeah, please go ahead.
I have created.
Created, Kiran has it. Okay, how about others?
Yeah.
Perfect. Rupesh, Kiran, perfect. How about others?
Yeah, I also.
Perfect. Okay. What about Meera and Supriya? Cloud account?
Yeah, created. Yeah.
Create.
You are asking about the Amazon account?
I'm talking about not a Amazon account, AWS account, which is aws.amazon.com. You have to create one AWS account. This account.
Created.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Good. Okay. So as you can see here, the first thing that we get is we need to log in. And when we log in, friends, we see two options. Root user and the IAM user. So the email address that we have used to create the account is the root user. Root user has the ultimate privilege. Ultimate. That's because that he owns the account. The root user owns the account. He or she owns the account. So that's the ultimate privileges. It has nothing more than that. Then we have something called IAM user. IAM is also one of the services in AWS. See, why do we need IAM service? Think about it. Let's say you own a company. Think about it. Let's say you own a company. You have a product. Let's say some retail product websites. Now you are recruiting people in your company. You are recruiting developers, QA engineers, DBAs, DevOps, QA engineers, performance engineers, admins. You're recruiting people. And you need to give them access because they are your employee. You need to give them access so that they can work in your account. They can create infrastructure. They can do in your account. They can do that. You want DBA to create the databases, manage them. You want developers to use services, right? All those things. QA engineer, you want to test. You need people. You need to give them access. So do you think we would give them same root user access? Will I share? Should we share the same credentials that we have, being the owner, to them, to our employees as well?
No.
No, right?
Yeah.
No, we should not do that. That is why we have this IAM service. And we create IAM user. So depending on their job functions, depending on their roles and responsibilities, we would we'll create account for them and then we'll give them access. We should not give them more access. Security starts from here. As I told you, our entire discussion is around security, performance, reliability, cost optimization, high availability. Our entire discussion is around these topics. What are the words I used, friends? Let me just use the notepad to highlight the words that I've used. The entire discussion is around performance, how to create scalable performing applications, security, how to make your application secure from the cloud perspective, infrastructure perspective, how to achieve reliability. What does reliability mean? We have our course, we call it site reliability engineer. What does this word mean, reliability? Reliability means the ability to bounce back. In case of issues, we want the application to be self-healing. Failures will happen. 1 second, friends. Give me 30 seconds. Yeah. So we need to make our application reliable. We also use the word resilient. We need to, the application will be resilient. What does these two word mean? See, failures will happen. How soon our application recovers from failure is the reliability. So we will talk about reliability. Even in case of some components fail, how our application continue to function, self-healing, ability to bounce back. Failures will happen. Even Google had a downtime. Failures will happen. But how soon the system recovers is reliability. Our discussion would be around high availability. How to make sure we are highly available. Nobody likes downtime. If you use a website, Flipkart, Amazon, MakeMyTrip.com, and if the website is not available, we are not going to trust the website. If the website is not secure, we provide our credit card details, personal information. If the websites are not secure, it's not it's of no use, right? It can, if hackers can get access of our data, credit card details, they can misuse things. Application has to be secure. If it is not performing, who is going to use those? Slowness nobody likes. If it's not reliability, if it's not reliable, again, we would have other issues. We need high availability. And other is the cost optimization. Our entire discussion is around this. Every topic that we discuss is around this, right? So IAM is one of the security principles. We should not give them, should not share our root credentials to them. So what we should do, we have a service called IAM. We go to IAM and create accounts and then give them access. And we should only give them required access. Okay, no, okay, you take this also, take this. No. What is their job functions look like? You should give them list privilege principle, list access, whatever required as per their job functionality for their day-to-day activities, job functions, we should give them access. So that's the IAM user. So right now we are only the root user. We don't have IAM user. We can, once we log into the root user, we can create IAM user and then we can log in as the IAM user as well once we have the credentials. So when you join a company, the admin of the company would share root access or IAM user access, friends, to us. What do you think? What access we are going to get?
Sorry, can you come again, Roshan?
When we join a company, the credentials that they will say to log into cloud account is going to be root user or IAM user?
IAM user.
IAM user. Just now we discussed. So we need IAM users. Is everybody on the same page? Thumbs up, quick thumbs up.
No.
Not on the same page?
Yeah, same page.
Same page? Perfect. So let's create we have the credentials. Let's log in. We have set up the password, friends, credentials. Let's sign in. And we have the MFA code. I have done, you may not get this as of now. I have done a multi-factor authentication. I'm going to tell you how to do that. It's good to secure the account. Again, it's one of the security thing. We should also always keep it MFA activated. Cloud also suggests to have MFA. They make it mandatory to have MFA, multi-factor authentication, enabled in your account. So as you can see here, friends, I have logged in as a root user. We'll talk about IAM use some other day. I'm just going to show you that we have something called IAM. Next week we'll talk about. So if you go to IAM, and IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. If you go to this service, it'll open a module and we can create users, we can give them permissions and all those things we can do. Users, permissions, We have a concept of groups, roles. We'll discuss about that in some other time. But just know that this service has to do with the user management. As I told you, right? When we use cloud, we need to understand the use cases. What is the use case of using cloud? We want to get the server. What is the service we use to get the server, friends?
EC2.
EC2. So type EC2. What is the full form of EC2?
Elastic Cloud Compute.
Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2. If you want the server, go to EC2. It'll open a different it'll open the EC2 module, and now we can create the server. So today we are going to discuss this because I'm gonna get you the Linux access. Those who have enrolled, you will be a WhatsApp group will be created, friends, for all of you, and I'll be asking you your email addresses. And then you will be given access to the Linux so that you can practice. Our learning starts from this weekend itself. You'll be given access to this playlist, the Linux and Shell scripting playlist. It's going to be my recorded sessions. And you can ask me doubts over the weekends. Or when we meet next on Monday, you can ask your doubts. We'll take up your questions first. So let's understand that. So I'm going to get you a platform where you can practice Linux. So we'll create a Linux server, not a Windows server. Windows server, we have it. Let's create a Linux server so that we can practice things. In the same thing, we have covered this up right here. So let's talk about how to get a server. Okay, friends, let's say you go to a website called Dell.com, Lenovo.com. Let's say you go to such website and they ask you to configure your laptop. What all details do you think they will ask you mandatory? Mandatory information they would require to create a data to configure your laptop for you. What do you think they're going to ask you?
RAM storage.
RAM. Okay, I'll put that RAM.
Operating system.
Operating system, they're going to ask you. Okay, perfect. RAM.
Storage.
Okay, storage, disk, right? Basically. Okay. Yes, we are missing one thing. The most important thing. What are we missing here?
CPU.
CPU, right? Processor. So definitely they will ask you these questions. Definitely. And they will ask about the resolution and all those things, screen, monitor. Let's not worry about that. Definitely they will ask you these details. Definitely. So same thing is what we need to provide. Same thing we need to provide while creating the server. So what do? We have gone to the EC2. Friends, you can do this along with me. I'm going to go slow. Going to go very slow. And I would like everybody to do this along with me. Are we here now? Please log into your Cloud Console. Type EC2 in the search option. I have seen people struggling to get the server. I don't want you to struggle. I want you to practice over the weekends. Let's do it right away. Please log into your Cloud Console, search EC2, open the EC2 module. Please confirm once we have this page, everybody. Do we have this page? Okay, Kiran has given me a thumbs up. How about others?
Yep.
Okay. All set, friends? Okay. So go to instances. Go to instances, navigate to instances, and click on launch instances. Launch instances. Click on launch. Now, whatever you are going to select, we have got options to select here. Look at this. We need to provide these details. As you guys mentioned, we need the storage. The instance type is what we call it, the core and the RAM together. And then we have the OS, right? Same thing you guys have told everybody. So we need the OS. Do I need a Linux server or Windows server? In Linux, we have multiple options. So OS instance type means the core and the RAM put together. We're calling it instance type, core and the RAM. And then we have the storage and we have other details because we need to log in also, right? So we need to give some login credentials. We need to configure some credentials here so that we can log in. So do we know, friends, that the entire Linux, you will get to know in this sessions, the entire Linux is broadly classified into two categories. Do we know this? One is called Debian family. The entire Linux distributions is divided into two categories. One is Debian family, other one is CentOS family. Anybody difference? Do we know this? Why? What are the importance of these two distributions, Linux distributions? What are the difference? Okay. See, in Debian family, apt app package manager will be installed. If I want to do something, we have to do apt update, apt install. In the CentOS family, you have yum. Have you used this command, apt or yum? Anytime? Anybody?
Yum I have used.
Right, yum. So yum, when you use this, because you have a CentOS distribution. The examples of CentOS are Red Hat, Fedora. These are the examples of Red Hat. So these are, if you use this Linux distribution, means it's a CentOS family. And if you want to work, install or update anything, you have to do through yum package manager. I'll add one more to the list, Amazon Linux. We have an OS called Amazon Linux. So these three are very primary examples of the CentOS family. Debian example is Ubuntu. It's very popular, Ubuntu. If you use Ubuntu OS distribution and you want to install, update something, we have to use app package manager. Apt update, apt install, those things. You will get all those clarifications in the Linux sessions. Okay, that's the one. And
If I ask you,
go ahead.
yeah, if I ask you what is the most used family categories, like for hosting an application?
See, from the feature perspective, both are Linux only. Both have similar capabilities. So I would say depends on the preferences. Ubuntu, mostly we use Ubuntu because it is no licensing required, open source, right? And all those features of Linux. If not Ubuntu, you would see mostly people using Amazon Linux in AWS or Red Hat. Red Hat could be commercial also because it's from the Red Hat company. They have configured it. So mostly I would say Ubuntu or Amazon Linux. These two OS distribution. Both are Linux only. We are not talking about anything, any other operating system. Both are Linux. Right? Now we will do one by one, friends. Now, before I get started, I would like to ask you something. We are creating cloud. We are creating a server in the cloud. And we need to connect. Very basics. We're talking about the most basic things. I know where people struggle because we don't know, because if we have never worked on this, never exposed on this, we would not know. So let's say this is a cloud. And what I'm doing here, I'm creating a server. That's all I'm doing. I'm creating a server. Linux, Windows, could be whatever. And then we are somewhere, let's say I'm someone from outside the cloud. I'm not in the network, right? I'm somewhere in my other network. I'm not in the cloud network. I'm the one who's creating the server in the cloud. Now I need to install softwares. I need to connect to this. Then the question is, how do I connect? The question is, how do I connect to this? How do I connect? This is the question.
Agent process.
Come again, repeat repeat that. Agent. No, we have to connect first. Agent is a different thing. No, that answer is not right. We have to connect. We need to connect using a protocol. It's a Linux server. We need to log in. We need to connect to the Linux server. So for Linux server, friends, we should know this. Like we are basics. We should all know this, right? Anyway, that's the region. This course is from very scratch. We talk about. If it's a Linux server, we connect using SSH protocol. Linux, if it's a Linux server, we connect using SSH protocol. Secured shell. And which port we use, friends, to connect to this? Any idea? It is a fixed port. If it's a Linux server and we want to do SSH, it will listen on a port. Which port it is?
43.
Port 22. Okay. Port 22. If it would have been a Windows server, let's say, we have options. Linux, Windows. If it's a Windows server, remember these things, friends. If it's a Windows server, which protocol? The protocol will change. It's not going to be SSH now.
RDP.
RDP. Remote desktop protocol. Absolutely right. Which port? 338. It is definitions. Nobody can argue, and everybody. You are in any cloud, whatever on-prem or any cloud, you have to. It is defined by IANA, International Assigned Number Authority. They have defined all these things. They have defined all these things. We have to follow their definitions. So it's a Linux server. We have to connect using port. We have to do SSH. Depending on the operating system, we can use either SSH or RDP. Is it clear now? When do we use SSH? When do we use RDP? Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Simple thing. Now, when we create the server, look at this. We have options, friends. In the OS, we can select, we have Amazon Linux, Mac. Mac is not part of free tier, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat. We have got multiple options here. We've got a lot of operating system. Now, one thing we should know, that is why we create the key pair. Okay, we'll talk about this key pair. And this instance type has the core and the RAM, 1 vCPU, 1 GB RAM. Right? I mean, we can go up to 8 vCPU, 16 vCPU. We have 48 vCPU. A lot of big VMs we have. We can go 96 vCPUs. We have to pay that much. Now, one thing before I create the server. When you create the server, we have something called firewall around the server. What do we have? Firewall around the server. We call that firewall as security group. What do we call it? Security group. This firewall. This firewall controls the traffic. Think like it's a bodyguard. Bodyguard. Think like it's we have high, right? Important people's VIPs. We have bodyguard. Nobody can come around the periphery, inside the periphery, when that bodyguard is there around the person, right? Think like this. It's a firewall. Security group, we call it. Security group. If I would like to do SSH, because I'm trying to connect over port 22. I'm trying to SSH. If it's a Linux server, I would like to do SSH on port 22. If security group doesn't allow this traffic, do you think I'll be able to connect? I'll be able to connect to the server? If
No.
I repeat my question, if security group doesn't allow port 22, do you think I'll be able to connect to the server?
No.
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 No. So security group should allow. If I'm installing an application, let's say on port 80, let's say I installed a web server on port 80, and people around the world, they're trying to access the application which I have installed. If the security group doesn't allow port 80, do you think anybody can access the application? Even if the application is installed running, but my request cannot reach the server. Security guard is going to, my bodyguard is going to stop the person. No, sorry, you're not allowed. You're not in the list of allowed guests. You cannot come near the person. So you have to let security group know what all access do you want. So minimum is that if I would like to connect to the server, it's a Linux server, we have to allow port 22. We have to allow port 22. If we have an application running on port 80, let's say I have a web server. Let's call this Apache 2. Apache 2 is a very popular web server. Very popular web server from Apache. It runs on port 80. When we install the web server, it runs on port 80. It's installed, application is installed. But if security group doesn't allow port 80, my request cannot reach the server. Forget about accessing it. Your request cannot reach the server, in fact. So we have to allow it, friends. It's a bodyguard. So know that. This is what we are going to discuss today, and we are going to see these things. That's all. Are we clear on each and everything here? Simple. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's create the server, friends. Okay, let's give a server a name. My first, it's optional. It's not a mandatory field. My first instance. You can give it later also name. I'm just giving it, let's say my first is EC2 instance. I'll go one by one. Whatever I will do, you can see the options here. By default, also they have selected something. By default, they have selected something. They are creating a new security group already. They have 8 GB of disk. They have given one AMI already, Amazon Linux, which is a CentOS family. They're also giving one instance type, which is a part of free tier T2.micro. 1 vCPU, 1 GB RAM. So everything is already configured. I can simply launch the EC2 instance. Only one mandatory field, friends. Key pair. Just know that if you want the server to be created, let's create the server, friends, in the best easy manner. In the simplest manner. We'll go over the details on Monday because you have a lot of options. Okay, I'll just show you. It's Amazon Linux. I'll just make it Ubuntu. I'm going to select Ubuntu here and it will change to Ubuntu. I selected Ubuntu and you can see this option it has gone to Ubuntu automatically. So whatever we will do here in this part, it will get updated there. By default, T2.micro, it is one instance type. We call it core and the RAM put together. It's called instance type. By default, T2.micro is selected, which is a free tier eligible. So I'm good. 1 vCPU, 1 GB RAM. They're giving as part of free tier. They will not charge you. You can get whatever you want. 4 vCPUs, 8 vCPUs, 16 vCPUs. You can get whatever you want, but they will charge you. You have the charges also here mentioned per hour, how much they're going to charge you. But if you use free tier eligible, which is T2.micro, they are not going to charge you as part of free tier. Everybody must have selected the free tier while getting the account. As part of free tier, 750 hours is free. They're not going to charge you. If your EC2 instance, if your server is using T2.micro for 750 hours, like if it leave it for the month also, they are not going to charge you. Okay, so make sure you select T2.micro. So I'm not going to change it. So I'm not going to change it. Only mandatory field is keep here. I'll come to this. Now network settings, you can see here. Friends, we have regions, okay? We have a concept of regions. See, I told you, right? Why AWS is there? Because they have the data center across the globe. That's why we use cloud. We would like to create server, storage around the world. So we have a concept of region and availability zone. AZ we call it, data center. Okay, so today let's keep it very, very simple. I just want you to create the server. Just know that you can select by default, you can select your nearest region. For me, nearest is Mumbai. I've selected Mumbai. You can select anywhere, it doesn't matter. Cost would remain the same. Means basically what they're telling, they have infrastructure in these regions. So don't get confused. Regions are not countries. No, don't think regions are countries. No. I have two regions, one in Mumbai, one in Hyderabad. They are in the same country. So don't think region are the country. In US, they have 4 regions. It doesn't mean that. So don't think region as a country. Region is just one area. So they have infrastructure across the globe. And we are going to create the infrastructure right now in Mumbai. Whatever region you select, they will create the infrastructure in that region. Okay. So first thing you need to select the region. Okay. So I've selected Mumbai. By default, also you get something. Now, if you drop down, I'll come to the key pair. That's the only mandatory field. Okay, only mandatory field is key pair. What I have done, I've selected Ubuntu. It got changed. It was optional. Name I have given, it was optional. I'm not touching T2.micro. Storage also I'm not touching. You can get up to 1 TB also, but 8 GB is fine for Linux. I'm not touching this also. Let me show you the security group. If you expand the network settings, you have a network because we are going to connect to the Linux, right? Server in the cloud. Without network, we cannot connect. So every region has a network. Just know that every region, every cloud region has a network. So just know that because we create the server, we connect it. It has to have the network, friends. It has to have the network. So just know that every cloud region has a network. And that is what they are showing you here, that I have a network. We call it VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Let's not worry. I'm not going to change it. And we are creating a security group, a new security group we are creating. Firewall, security group. And look at this, create security group. And what are we doing here? Allow SSH traffic from this. So if we check this box, what are we doing? Basically, we are allowing port 22 in the security group. Yes or no? By default. Okay, we are not doing anything. It was by default done. Cloud is a smart guy. They know your server is Linux and they have allowed SSH traffic. No need to do any action item. It was configured by default. Let's leave it. I am just telling you what it is. If I install an application on port 80, I'll select this. If I install an application of port 443, HTTPS is 443. Okay, just thereby you should know these basic things. Okay, if you install an application on port 80, so basically that's HTTP protocol. Port 80 is HTTP protocol. But if you install an application on port HTTPS, that is port 443. Okay, just know that. Over HTTP protocol, it is port 443, port 80 is HTTP. Every information in this page, friends. Okay, so if I plan to install, let's say I plan to install one application, web server, Apache 2. I have allowed this also. Done. That's it. Done. I don't want to install anything on port HTTP, port 443 HTTP, so I'm not checking this box. Again, this is optional, friends. I can leave it as it is. Let's leave it as it is. Let's not do this. Let's not complicate today. We'll do this, all those things, lot of combinations. We'll talk about it. We'll do all those things on Monday next week. Okay, let's not do this by default. And configure storage 8 GB is configured. Let's not do this. So no changes, friends. I have not done any changes except I have given the name and selected the different AMI. That's all. This was also optional. I'll just have to Ubuntu. Okay. Now only one mandatory field. What is the mandatory field? Key pair. Because you are going to connect. You have to define some key pair. We have to define some key pair. We have to define. We call it pair. Why do we call it pair? So we will create a key pair. It is in the pair. We will create a pair key in pair. Means let's say I'm going to create a key. I'll call this key as June 2025 key. And the format is PEM. Okay, I'm going to create this key and this existing pair because I should have also the key and the server should also have the key. If both the key matches, then only I'll be able to connect to the server. It will be authorized and I'll be connected to the server. So that's why we call it key pair, because the key will be with me also, with the user who is trying to create and connect. And the same key should be present on the server also. Both the things. So we call it key pair. So let me create a key pair. If we don't create a key pair, then how we will be able to authenticate? Anybody can connect to the server, right? We don't want anybody to connect to the server. I'm connected to the server. I'm only asked to be able to connect. So there has to be some unique thing, right, with me, which will only enable me to connect to the server, not others. So that's key for you. That's the only mandatory field here. So let's create a key pair. We'll create a new key pair. I'm going to give this key pair a name. As I told you, June, let's say 2025 key. I'm not touching anything. PEM format, RSA, encryption. I'm going to create a key pair. It will download the key pair in my local laptop. And the same key will be uploaded to the server. Okay, friends, all I'm doing is creating the key pair. Friends, do this along with me. That was the only mandatory field. Go to the key pair and do this. Are we done? Please do let me know. Done in the chat. Very simple. Just give the name. Don't touch any of these things. Keep it PEM, RSA default selected and just create the key pair. It will get downloaded in your local laptop. Shall I proceed? Yes. Create key pair. So as I told, it got downloaded in my local laptop. Right in the downloads, you can see here it got downloaded and the same key is uploaded to the server. That's it. That's the only mandatory field and I'm done. I can just launch my instance. That's it. My server is created. Very simple. The most simple thing. Only one thing was mandatory was the key pair. I just changed the AMI. That was just to show you that it is changing. That's all. Nothing I have done on this, given the name. That the name also we could have given that later also. I can give the name right now also. If I want to change the name, I can do it right now also. So I go to instances, I see my server. I see my server. It is initializing. Now, we have something called IP address. We all are connected to the internet right now as we speak. We all are connected to the internet. Means our laptop has a public IP as well as a private IP. Our laptop has it. I'm talking about my laptop. Public IP, if you want to check of your laptop, you can go to this website what is my ipaddress.com. If you go to this address, if you go to this website, you can find the public IP of your laptop. I'm going to give this link to all of you. I'm putting in the chat. If you go to this website, you can find your public IP of your laptop. I have this public IP of my laptop. This IP has been given by internet service provider from where I have taken the internet, which is basically here Tata Play Broadband. My ISP has given this IP and I am being charged for that, right? We pay monthly amount, right? So this is my public IP. Our laptop has also a private IP. Our laptop has a network card. Do we all know this? In the motherboard, it's there in the motherboard. We have a network card that has the private IP. If you want to know the private IP of your laptop, public IP is ISP given by ISP, Internet Service Provider, and we have private IP also. If you want to know your private IP of your laptop, you can go to the command prompt and type ipconfig. You can search for command prompt, friends. Search for command prompt. And you can type ipconfig. All you have to do is type ipconfig. And you will get the private IP of your laptop. This is your private IP. So every laptop which is connected to the internet, what do we have? A public IP and a private IP. Every laptop which is connected to the internet, what do we all have with that laptop? Friends, everybody, I would like everybody to repeat after me. Every laptop which is connected to the internet, what do we always have?
Public IP and private IP.
Private IP, anyway, you will always have it whether you connect to the internet or not, because it is coming from your network card.
Public IP.
Public IP, we always have it because that internet service provider has given us. Now, this laptop is no different. This server that we have created is no different. We have public IP and a private IP. Only difference is that it is given by AWS and private IP is coming from the region. Okay, just know that. We have public IP and private IP. Now, if I want to connect to the server, what do you think which IP I will use? Public or private?
Public IP.
Public IP. Private IP is private to the network. I'm not in the network. Am I in the cloud network? Am I in the cloud network? Am I here? No. I'm outside. So we have to use public IP of this laptop to connect. We have to use public IP of the laptop. I will issue only one command, friends, and that's it. I'll issue only one command and that's it. sh command, okay? What I'm gonna do, does anybody has a MacBook here in this group? Or everybody has the Windows? Please confirm me, friends, in the chat, Windows or MacBook? Because for Windows, it's a different process. So I'm asking you. For Mac, it's a different process. So I'm asking you. Okay, Windows, right? I see Windows. Perfect. Okay, so I have the same approach now. So we have the command prompt open, friends, right? Navigate to the location where you have the PEM file. My PEM file is a downloads folder. Okay. My PEM file is a downloads folder. Just now I downloaded this PEM file. I can do this. I can just go to the downloads folder, friends. We can have to go C colon. Okay, what we can do, I think I'm not using the right way of, I wanted to have the location, but anyway, what I'm gonna do, friends, one of the easiest way to do it.
Just type CMD there, so it will go.
Yes, I'll type CMD, that's all. Okay, I'll close my CMD, this CMD. I am in the downloads folder, friends. Do one thing, okay, exactly do this steps. Just click on this and type CMD here, CMD. It will open the downloads with the same location it will open. Look at this. This is the location, user Dell downloads. If I would have given CD this, it would have worked. But anyway, so go to the download because I would like to be in the same location. You could be in any location, but I'll tell you why am I in this location. Now we have to use only one command, SSH command. SSH -I and the PEM file, June 2025 PEM file in quotes. I have the Ubuntu user, Ubuntu AMI operating system. So Ubuntu is the default user at the rate of public IP. That's all. So we have to show this command and the public IP. That's it. Very simple command, friends. SSH -I, your key pair. Because why I went to this location, because if I would be in any other location, we have to give the absolute path of this. So I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it simple. So that's why I moved to downloads. We could be in any location. In that case, we have to give the absolute location of this PEM file. Okay, with C and all those things. But since I'm in downloads folder, I can give like this. So understand that if you're in different location, you have to give the absolute path. If I'm in the C user Dell, we have to give a relative path from Dell downloads, or we have to give the absolute path like this entire thing. We have to give it and it will work. Anyway, Ubuntu is the default user and the public IP. Hit enter, friends. I'm getting this. Are you sure you want to connecting? Yes, I give yes, friends. And I got connected, friend. I got connected to my Linux server. It is not my Windows right now. This is my Windows server. But right now I'm in my Linux server. I can issue Linux commands. So I want you to practice here, friend. All the Linux commands. pwd is present working directory. I'm under home Ubuntu. I can navigate to the root directory. I can do ls-l list, long list. So I have described all those commands in the video. Okay, basics of Linux. Basics of Linux. How do you install a software? How do you navigate in directories? How do you check disk usage, df-h? How do you issue the top command? And you can issue all those things. Look at all those. We can see the load average. We have how much CPU, memory. How can we check the memory? I've given in detail. We have discussed all those things. How do you install a software and all those things we have explained in detail in those Linux sessions. From very basics, how do you change permissions? What is the owner of the file? Group owners, every detail that you require to have is in these recorded sessions. And I would like you to complete over the weekends. Once the separate group is created, which will be happening today, friends. Today, the last free sessions, like for everybody, open to everybody. From Monday, it's going to be the closed group. And I'm going to give you access in that WhatsApp group. You will be giving access. They will be asking your Gmail addresses. You need to provide your Gmail ID. You need to must to have a Gmail ID. So these are all you uploaded in the YouTube playlist. And you'll be given access. And you need to go over this. And you're supposed to complete. Think about just spend 3.5, 4 hours, 5 hours, friends, 6, whatever time you need over the weekend, and you're good with Linux. And this is the platform to practice. Okay.
Rishabh, you have used your public IP, na?
Public IP only we have to use. Because I am in the outside network, right? I'm not in the cloud network. If I'm in the cloud network, we can connect to the server using the private IP. But I'm outside network. I'm not in the network. So we have to use public IP. Understand the region so that you never miss. Right? If I would be somewhere in the cloud network, if I have another server, that server in the same cloud network can connect using private IP. But this guy here cannot connect using the private IP. Sounds good?
Okay.
Yes.
If I'm already in the cloud network,
You can.
can
You can
can I use
use
public
private
IP?
private IP. You can use public IP, absolutely yes, but you can use private IP also to connect. That's again one of the security principle. When you are in the cloud network already, why would you use public IP? Why do you want to make your connectivity vulnerable to security threats? Use private IP, right? So let's say when you have a 3-tier application, web server, app server, database server, they're all in the cloud network. So do you think when web server communicates to app server, they use public IP? When when app server talk to database, do you think they use public IP? No, we use private IP. We want to be secure connectivity. So when you are already in the cloud network, always use the private IP. Never ever use the public IP. Sounds good? Friends, you can take this screenshot of this. Please take this screenshot. This is the entire gist of our discussion. I can share this also. I can download from the Teams. I can do this. Cloud intro, I'll just put it. I'm uploading it here, friends. I'll do one thing. I'll show you one of the command also that we have used. Is this command, friends? But whether you plan to enroll or not, we should know these things, basic things. Okay, always make a way to learn these things. You cannot survive without these things in IT. With the current industry, always find a way to know these things. Whatever we discussed, I was observing you guys were silent. So we should know these things. Okay, I've shared the screenshot, friends. These should be the basic things that we have discussed today. And we're going to continue our discussion like this. And we should all know these things. And many more we have in the cloud. We have just started today. It's just like 1%, well, not even 1% is what we are going to discuss in our sessions. Okay, but very important. We should know the Linux server and how to connect. Okay, so friends, let me give you this command. Please make a note of it. If I once we disconnect, you would not be able to download the image and copy this command with you. And that's all, friends. We are done. I'll see you on Monday. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, friends. And one more thing before I leave. Friends, once you are done practicing, don't keep it running. Okay. Select this, terminate it. I don't want you to exhaust 750 hours. Soon, terminate it. It hardly takes 1 minute to create it. Create the new server. You can use the same key pair. You can use the same key. No need to have a new key and new security group every time. Terminate it.
So instead of terminating, we can also stop the instance, right?
You can stop also. That will stop billing also. Yes, but I terminate it because when you terminate it, your EBS, when you stop it, your disk is still being active. 8 GB. You are still asking for 8 GB of storage from AWS, right? So if when you terminate it, everything goes away. Complete disk also, 8 GB also goes away. So terminate it. Hardly takes a minute. If you want me to create it, I'll simply go to launch instance. If I want AMI, I'll change the AMI. If I want, that's option to me. I'll not create the new key pair again. I'll select my existing key pair, whatever I have used so far, which is June 2025 key. I'll use the existing security group, which I have used last time. Whatever was launch wizard 4.5, whatever it was there, I'll use the same launch wizard, same key pair I'll use, and I'll launch the EC2 instance. Hardly takes a minute to create a new one. Okay. So better to terminate it every time, friends, so that you don't exhaust. So when you're done practicing and you think you're going to be away for quite some time, terminate it so that you don't exhaust your 750 hours. There's a lot of things which is free. AWS free tier as part of, we have a lot of things which are free. As from AWS wants you to learn cloud, and every cloud does this. So 750 hours of EC2. If you use T2.micro, then only 750 hours. And we have so many things. We'll talk about S3, RDS, DynamoDB, Lambda. We'll talk about a lot of things, friends. Today, very important session, but we are in the very beginning phase. I just want you to practice Linux. That was my main intention. EC2 is not completed. EC2 is only 1% completed. I have not told you many options. We will explore that on Monday, friends. That's all, friends, for today. Any questions? I can take it up.
Okay. So once the WhatsApp group has created, like we'll be sharing the YouTube links along with the materials related to whatever.
Exactly. So I will not be creating. My team would be creating it. Yes, I'll be in the WhatsApp group, and once that happens, it will happen today. I'll let them know, and we will be sharing the PPTs, the cloud drive. I'll be asking your Gmail addresses. And as you can see here, I have added a lot of people here over the years.
So, Rusha, this
Will
doesn't
be added
contain
one Supriya, just let me complete it. So I'll be adding you. I'll be asking your Gmail address, and you'll be added here, and you will be getting all the accesses. And you have something called Linux shell scripting here. Cloud is this, Linux is here. You should open the Linux one and practice. I have also mentioned this in the recorded session. And you should open this and practice the Linux commands. And use the PPT for the commands, and you follow the recordings and do the hands-on in the server that you have created. Okay, that's the plan. Yes, Supriya, go ahead.
Could you share some slides for heapdom and threaddom and all?
Can you repeat that? Will I share the PPT for?
Could you share the slides for heapdom, threaddom and all analysis?
We will definitely, we already have it. We already have it. Everything you will be getting access. You will have everything with you. Once I give you access, you get everything here.
Okay.
You have everything, all those PPTs, a lot of information is there, lot of information. accumulated over the years, friends. It's a gold mine if you want to learn something. It's a very useful information. Okay, you're gonna love it. Okay, friends.
So, Rishabh, every day the lecture will be for 1 hour only. 1 hour
No,
only.
no, no, no. 1.5 hours. Today we are just starting phase, right? I don't want to overwhelm you in the beginning. I
Okay.
just want you to go slow, get warmed up, and then we will talk about it. 1 hour, 1.5 hour, could be 1 hour 25 minutes, could be 1 hour 10 minutes. We will have a conclusive ending, right? Yeah. Mostly we will not extend beyond 9. Maximum I'll take till 9, 7:30 to 9 a.m. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Perfect, friends. Thank you so much, everybody. At the end, again, I'm going to give you the link, friends, if you want to explore the topics that we are going to cover in cloud, Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, monitoring, automation, DevOps. You have every information here. Do reach out to me for any technical questions. I'm available in your WhatsApp group. Just tag me and I'll be answering you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you all on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.